Hey guys, it's Tony. So I have been getting a lot of requests for XL Fleet Corp. I'm not 100% sure what they do and what their fundamentals are, but I'm assuming it's like an EV company or something, right? Anyway, somebody did ask about a TA on XL Fleet Corp. And, if you guys are watching this on TikTok, give me like 5 taps on the screen so you guys can give me a super like. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, just like the video, that way YouTube can like push my videos out to like everybody else, and that way everybody can like see my stuff. Anyways, but let's get to it, right? So, first of all, let's actually start by, setting up all the price ranges. And I know a lot of you guys don't know why or how I even set these up, but the thing is though, it's not as hard as you think it actually is going to be, right? So the easiest way that I can explain it is if you guys can, why does it keep doing that, right? So the easiest way that I can explain it is you have to place it where all the wicks match up the most. So if you guys can see this one, you guys can see this little red line that's kind of hovering, right? I'm going to match it up to these 3 wicks that are right here. And you got to match it up to the ones that are the most, right? So it's touching that left wick right here. It needs to touch this middle one and the one on the right, right? So it's around the same range. So I'll put it right there, right where it's touching all 3 of them. It's touching the left one. It's touching the right one. And it's barely going to be touching this middle one right here, right? So we're going to put it right where it barely touches that middle one. Same thing with these wicks up here. So it's doing this one and it's doing this one, right? So what we're doing is we're actually hitting that front, we're actually just touching that left wick, and then we're doing it right where it touches that second wick, right? And that's basically where we're putting that second price range. Same thing right here. So right now, we're going to be matching up this one, this one, this one, and this wick right here. I don't like matching up the wicks that are on the current day. So what we're actually going to be doing is we're going to be matching up just these 3 wicks right here from the past day. So we're matching up there. And then for the next wick, we're actually doing it on the bottom side, which would be around, it'd be around this level right here. So it'd actually be touching the most wicks. So right now it's going to be touching this wick, this one, this one, and this one, right? So we're matching it up to where it touches all of them, which is basically, it's like right there. I don't think we need any more wicks just because this is actually on the week chart. I usually like to do these on the day chart unless, there's some strong positions, unless there's some strong, positions on certain candles, right? But as of right now, it does look like we are trading in a specific range. You guys can see that we're trading between that $23 mark and that $18.56, right? So it does look like we can actually break out of this range right here. So what we can do again is we can just put like a little rectangle right there. We can look at the highest price range, which is actually right here, and then we can look at the lowest price range, which is down right here where it's been trading at for the last couple of days, for like the last week or so. So we're not trying to do this where we're not trying to look back months or even weeks, right? We're doing this on the most recent data that we have. Once this is finished, we can kind of assume that it's going to be trading around this range for a little bit longer. What we're looking for is a breakout towards the upside on this 2352 range, or on the bottom on this 1846 range, right? That's one of the key factors we're actually looking for. We can actually go in and put in a little bit more detailed candles and stuff, but the only thing that I can honestly see right now that's a worry for me is, you guys know that I'm a big believer of trading lower, and there's a gap right here between 1591 and 1721. So we can actually put a little square right there just to kind of highlight that for ourselves, in case we like forget a little bit, right? So we'll just put a little gap right there, because that's exactly where, that's basically where the gap is, right? And you guys know that I don't like trading gaps. I don't like trading companies that have gaps in their charts, because there's a big chance that this gap is more than likely going to get filled eventually. You guys can see the gap right here that happened from 1271 to 1365, and it got filled right here. It got filled back here in December 2nd, right? So it got filled right here. And that's why I don't, if there would have been a gap like up in this range, like in the $32 range, I would 100% buy in right now. But you guys know that I don't like buying when the gaps are on the bottom, right? So there's a big chance this might break to the downside and fill this gap, right? So eventually I do think that's going to happen, but right now we're looking at short term. We're trying to see where we're actually headed, right? So On the week chart, it's not looking that good because it does look like we're about to break towards the bearish side right now. And it does look like bearish momentum is actually pretty big. And even on the month chart, it looks like on the stochastic, we actually just had bearish movement break. Would I buy into XO Fleet Corp right now? I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy, but I would definitely maybe swing this. I would actually buy right now, and I would probably swing this up to like maybe $22.98, $23. And I would probably just, as of right now, I would probably just swing this area. This is basically it. But the overall sentiment is, I think it is going down. I think that's what the chart is showing me. It's showing that it's going down. I mean, even right here, you guys can see that, you guys can see the MACD, it's constantly breaking, constantly going upwards, downwards, and on the stochastic, it's breaking bottom. So it's hovering around this range, right? So that's not exactly a bad thing. It's actually holding price pretty steady. So it does look like volume might be pretty good, and there's a lot of people buying in. But as far as just what TA shows, it does show like it's going to be going, back to the downside, right? So the only thing that I would actually look for is just the MACD, because it does seem like it's been respecting the MACD relatively well. And the last time we actually crossed, bullish on the upside, we went from, let's do a range, right? So last time we crossed was right here back on November 5th. Last time this actually happened was, we went up what? We went up from, $10 all the way to the highs of, $18. So we went up 83%, or about 8 points. The next time it actually crossed was that huge jump from, what was it? From December 22nd, right? So right when it crossed, we'll do right in the middle right here, right? Right when the MACD crossed green on the bullish side, it completely skyrocketed. And I'm assuming this is all strictly from hype, right? And it went up another 93%. So I tend to usually go by averages, right? So it does look like last time we jumped up on the MACD, it was 18 points, and then the next time was 34 points. But each time was between 80 and 90%. So the next time the day actually crosses towards the upside, this might actually go up around the same price range, right? So I do think that the next time this goes up on the day, we'll do it from the lows here, right? We'll do from the actual, like, the lowest part of the chart. So we'll go from these AT51 price points, we'll go up like 85%, just because it's like right in the middle, right? So next time that this crosses, we might actually end up seeing previous close to all-time highs again, right? If this does run up. As far as the week chart goes, let me delete this because we don't need the forecast right now, right? We're just kind of gauging to see what's going on. But as of right now, it does look like it's creating higher highs, which is pretty solid, right? I do think it's kind of doing okay, because we created a higher high, and then right here we went back. So higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. And I do think that if there is more hype and if we do see another run up, we would shoot up all the way up to right here. So I do think we're probably going to be bearish for another like week or so, but we need to keep in mind how long we actually stay bearish for. Because on this MACD, it does look like on average, we stay bearish on what is it called? You stay bearish on, what is this, XL, for only about a week or two, maybe 3. But I do think that as of right now, once this crosses towards the downside, maybe only look for a week out to actually purchase again. And I would definitely buy calls, or I would more than likely actually buy here, just to kind of see what's going on. But it does, like, apart from this gap that's right here in between this like $15-16 level, right? It does look like I would probably purchase right now. Because we are trading in this specific range, right? So I do think that next time we go up, it is going to go towards like the $16 area. I think that's where it's more than likely going to be headed. Actually not 16, back to all-time highs. So around like this $30 area, whatever, right? It does look like it's going back to that area. So would I buy right now? Yeah, I'd probably throw like a grand at this and just kind of swing it, and probably set like I'd probably set a take profit at around $30 just to be like on the safer side. So I mean, if you were to buy right now and actually take, set your TP at $30. So that, we'll do the quick math right now, right? We'll put it at $30. Yeah, so if you guys were to buy right now, set your TP at $30, you guys are looking at around a 50% gain. So if you guys were to invest about $1,000 into this and not look at it and just kind of set your TP or your take profit, you guys are looking at about a $500 gain within the next maybe couple of weeks or so. I do think that we're definitely going to keep trading around this area, but as of right now, I would definitely be purchasing XL Fleet because I do think it's going to go back up to previous all-time highs. But just to be on the safer side, I probably would set a TP at about $30 and then kind of let it hover around there. And then maybe after it crosses, or you can actually sell a what is it called, a trailing stop order, I think. That way if it comes back down like crashing, it'll still profit, and then whenever it goes up, it'll keep moving your stop loss or your take profit upwards, right? But as of right now, I do think that XL Fleet is actually a really solid play. I do think that it's going to go up. Is this worrying? This is definitely worrying to me, right? But just because there's a gap doesn't mean that it's going to get filled, tomorrow or next week or next month or next year. It just means that the gap is there, and I 100% think that it's going to get filled. It might get filled 3 years from now, right? But as of right now, I do think XL Fleet is, especially if it's an EV company with all the hype around EV, I definitely think it's a solid buy at these prices. I do think it's going to run up, and more than likely, I think I'll probably end up throwing like $1,000 at this, setting a trailing stop loss, and just kind of writing it out, just to swing it. I do think it's a really good play, and I do think that I think more than likely I will probably be setting my take profit. I think closer to the 32 range. So I think $32 will probably be my take profit. And then I'll probably set like a trailing stop loss or something. But I think, whoever mentioned this, thank you. The chart actually looks pretty nice. So I think I more than likely will be throwing about $1,000 into this and just setting a take profit and forgetting about it, and then seeing if it actually hits. Statistically, what are the chances of this actually hitting or going to previous all-time highs? I think they're relatively high. I think the hype around EV right now is solid, and I do think that the chart right now, apart from this gap, is actually a pretty solid play. It is creating, higher highs, which is great. The only thing that would make me worry is if we actually break lower than this 1852 price range and we actually test it downwards. I do think that if that happens, we will be trading down. And then more than likely to fill that gap, right? And then it'll probably shoot up. But as far as buying in, I think right now it's a solid. It's a solid play. I do think it's a really good play right now. Today's probably a really good time to purchase, just to buy it right now, or even tomorrow. Or sorry, not today, but tomorrow. I think tomorrow at open would probably be generally a really good price, to purchase it. Whether you're buying it down here at that $18 price or the 23 price. Either way, I do think anywhere in this little yellow highlighted section is a really good entry price, and a 32 take profit is a solid take profit, especially if you're swinging this. But as far as long term, I haven't looked into the company all that long. I do mostly focus on swing trading stocks. So I would probably hold one of these positions for maybe about a month out if it's a swing trade, right? At most. But I do think as of right now, there is a lot of momentum that can possibly hit XL. And I think more than likely a really good position would be buying out like a month or two out calls, or just buying shares and swinging this. So, XL Fleet, the chart is looking good. Definitely recommend. Again, everybody, spend your own money on this. I'm not going to tell you guys to put your life savings on it, but the chart definitely looks nice, right? That's my job, letting you guys know if I think that, the chart actually looks good, and if it's a good possible play, for you guys to make money. And I think it is. I think I'm actually going to buy a position tomorrow at about $1,000 just to kind of swing this and, see what happens. So I'll see you guys later.